Chad, what episode is this, Chad?
I don't know. I hope you saw our episode last week with Luba. This week, we're going to introduce you to a young fella. If you've seen our website, Blaggards.com, the latest round of promo shots that we've had done is by a young fella, Houstonian named the Mighty Orq. And if you go to TMO Photography.com, the Mighty Orq Photography, he is taking some shots, and I don't mean TKO.
Shots across the poor bow.
Yeah.
Very, very skilled in portrait photography in particular, I think.
Yeah, we were rather amazed at his I guess skill level with that bloody camera. That was incredible.
Yeah.
Look at you dressed for the occasion.
Eric, you're muted. Eric, you're muted.
Fuck! Not muted.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, let's go to this, Chad.
This is episode number 166.
666, baby.
Yep.
I cannot count, nor can I take direction. We are here with the Mighty Orq.
At long last.
Holy fuck.
Hello.
Good to see you, young fella.
Hey, man. Good to see you, too. What an absolute delight and an honor to be on the SlapperCast, boys. Shoot.
I like that shirt.
Indeed.
I like that shirt.
You know what? I found this, I guess maybe about 3 or 4 years ago now at a thrift store in Bastrop. And then I refound it again like 2 days ago in my closet, and I was like, I know what I'm wearing for the SlapperCast.
It was in a thrift store at a Bastrop.
That's all he's wearing, ladies. That's the only thing he's wearing. So please do not stand up because we don't. Yeah, on the hat. Okay.
You know, you arrived and you find your band T-shirts, your own band T-shirts in a thrift store, or your own band records in a used CD store. You know you've made it.
I remember finding one of my first CD that I made like under my own name. It was a little solo acoustic deal, and I remember finding it like at Half Price Books like 6 months after it came out for $1, and I was like, I should have bought it.
You really can't, and the Half Price Books I found there was, and I can't mention their names because I fucking hate them and I don't want to give them any daylight whatsoever. But it was a band that we had played with a few times, and I found their whole entire catalog. Like anybody that bought that record brought it back, and they brought it into the thing, and there was like a rubber band around all of them. It's like, please, just take them, just take them. Very, very, very heartwarming to see. Of course, we didn't have a record out at that time, so I was safe. I was safe, but
is that your vinyl collection I see behind you, Orq?
Yes, part of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Got a few here, got a few over here, and it kind of keeps getting bigger, which is wonderful.
Cool.
That's what she said.
I need some Blaggard vinyl.
Yeah.
Oh, I can hook you up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Let's give me so for those who don't know, and we're going to mute your mic for this part, or because I know that you would probably say something derogatory or not agree with me, and I'm infallible. You know that. I would put you down as easily one of the top guitar players in Houston, and I'm not saying that. I don't say that with any hesitation. I think that you're one of the greatest performers, guitar players, vocalists. It's a sin that you're not where people like Billy F. Gibbons and people like that. You're so. And for those who don't know, we're going to post your website, your dates and whatnot. But cool. Take us back to the beginning. How did the Mighty Orq? How did you start?
Well, so the very beginning, I was in kindergarten, and I was I was born on when I was in kindergarten, I started playing violin, and I did that for like 5 years, just because it was like, I guess my parents were like, well, hey, maybe violin, and I was like, cool, it gets me out of class for like a few 30 minutes a couple times a week or whatever. And so I played violin till I was 10, and then I switched to guitar, and I took lessons for about 4 years. And and with this wonderful jazz guitar player named Eve Woodard, and who we're still friends, and I actually still take lessons from her on occasion. I was actually studying with her right up until the pandemic, and then we sort of had to stop doing lessons because we couldn't be in close proximity, and I didn't have any money to pay her. So anyway, but I got into blues music when I was probably about 12, I'd say, and I started playing. I played in a couple bands in high school, and when I got out of high school, I started sort of bumming around the music community here in town, and made some friends, and started playing professionally, and the rest, as they say, is just what's happening now.
Yeah.
What blues artist were you listening to when you were 12 that really made you think, man, I want to do that?
So I was like at that when I was 12, right? So I'd been playing guitar a couple of years, and I was really into like Pearl Jam and Nirvana had just come out, and I was like really into those guys, like Faith No More, Metallica, Hendrix, of course, and I was watching this like Saturday morning like kids show or something, and they had BB King on there, and he played, he's got his guitar and he's talking about blues and introducing blues to a young audience, and so he plays sort of his classic deal, which is like, he plays this cool line, and then he's like, nobody loves me but my mother, and she might be jiving too. And then, and he plays some more, and I was just like, I was just like floored. I was speechless. I was like, that's what I want to do. Those are the sounds, and
cool.
And that's really sort of what got me hooked,
Nice.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it was fun, man. It was a very like sort of it was a special moment. And what's interesting too is the first. So I had a Stratocaster, which I still have, my first electric guitar. And when I saw BB King, I became sort of obsessed with his guitar, Lucille. And they had one at the guitar store, Drum, Keyboard, and Guitars, where I used to take lessons when I was a little kid. And they had an Epiphone, the Epiphone Sheraton 2, which was sort of like, the Lucille style Gibson 335 body shape. And but I'd never heard of Epiphone, and I called it Epiphany for like months, maybe a year. And it was funny because like that was watching BB King. I had this epiphany, and then I called the guitar like the Epiphany I didn't know what that meant. I just thought that's what it was, and I didn't know what it meant or anything.
Makes sense.
Wacky stuff.
Wow.
Right.
And are you from Houston? Is this
Born and raised.
Whoa.
Yeah. H-Town, baby.
Yes. Yes. So we've known you for God. I've heard your name in so many different. We were talking about Rock and Robin with Luba last week. Luba Dvorak. If you have not seen that, go watch that SlapperCast, the one right before this one.
Dude, I loved it. That was a great one, man.
Oh, cool.
By the way,
such a great personality and such a great artist like yourself. But we heard your name way back in Rock and Robin when I first came to town. Your name was thrown around as a good. I was like, well, I'm not going to check this guy out. I don't like the sound of it. Sounds like he knows what he's talking about and he's good. And I don't need to be rubbing elbows with that. But no, in all seriousness, your reputation in Houston is just top drawer. Of course, and when we saw you, the first time I remember seeing you was at a place in the Village, which is long gone, thankfully, but called Brian O'Neill's.
yes.
And I remember, oh my God. And I just remember just being absolutely floored at, Eric, this was before your time, right? You weren't in Brian O'Neill's, but not. Okay, so this place, you have to understand, and I don't know a bar that we could compare it to, but it was frat boy / poser / everything that you don't want in a live music venue is what they had. But I went in and I watched you play, and I watched you fucking just own that crowd. Just take them to school. And again, remember, this is when people were playing Pearl Jam, and everybody wanted to hear the shit that was on the radio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, you know, that stuff. And you were in there doing your thing, and I was just fucking floored that you could have their attention, you know, in a bar like this. So, Eric, I'm telling you that because whatever bar that we've played, I'll give you a really good, of course, I can't mention the name, but a place that we played up north that we did a whole show just dogging the place, is just shithole, absolute fucking poser. But it was comparable to that. Chad, would you agree?
Yonkers, you talking about?
No, fucking north of Houston.
North. Oh, that. Okay, not that far north.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, it's trust me, complete poser. But you were just doing your thing and had everybody's. Yeah, Eric knows it. Everybody in that place was watching the bar, like, or watching the stage go. And of course, and I say stage, it's a fucking bar napkin with a fucking toothpick.
Dude, that was one of the weirdest things about that was how, you know, a lot of these, you know, the setup was like, there was sort of this elevated platform that like in sort of the middle of the room, as I recall. And it was just like the strangest place to like have live music, you know. I don't know. It was a weird deal. I was really grateful for those gigs though in the early days when I started my own band. I was just like, thank God a gig, you know.
Yeah.
I don't have to live in the car.
The weirdest thing about Brown O'Neill's was that thing that was in the middle of the room, right in front of the stage. You know, where some people have this really narrow area that in front of you, the stand, and they're always getting in the way of the servers. You know, so they actually Brown O'Neill's taped down this alleyway that you're not supposed to stand in. Remember that? Yeah.
So they put road markers on the floor in duct tape every time that a band would play, and you're supposed to look down at your feet and say, "Oh, hey, we're in the wrong." What the fuck are you talking about? It was the goofiest thing.
Step back behind the line.
Yes, yeah. You didn't know that? We go. That's the only line I know, Mr. Falcon. But so what Chad's talking about is they had this big, and it looked like an oak bookshelf, like a floor to ceiling bookshelf, because there was a little display case on one side, and there's absolutely no reason whatsoever. Now I knew the manager that they had originally hired had called me and said, "Hey, we're opening up a bar. Come down and check it out." It was in the Village. I said, "Yes, I will." So we go down there. So as you walk in the front door, the stage was going to be to your left, and it was going to be a real stage with sound. So by the time that they actually go to and we've seen this 1,000 times, by the time they open the doors, it turns into this little bar napkin area about that big with, you know, they go, "Hey, band sets up here. Don't be too loud, but rock the house and bring a crowd," and, you know, say, what the, you know, everything that you could possibly design poorly is what they did. So anyway, sorry, way too much time spent on that. But it just, again, another tip of the hat to bands like yourself that go into these situations, these shit situations, and actually turn them around and are able to make something of it. And it was because of bands like you that other bands were able to keep having live music, you know, because, you know, if these guys can do it, anybody can do it. So, and it really, it made everybody do their homework. Anyway, I digress. What's on the table for you now? What you got coming up? New record?
Yes, new record. We partnered with the Edgewater Music Group to do a crowdfunding deal, and we were able to raise enough money to make a new record. So hopefully coming up in the next 2 or 3 months, we're going to be able to get in there and start tracking a new record, man. But it's awesome. It's very exciting. You know?
Yeah. Mark Riddell gave us a heads up about that a couple weeks ago when he was here.
Yeah, man. And that, you know, it's like, I'm really excited because like Mark's playing bass, and we've actually done a little bit of co-writing for this one, which I haven't done too much co-writing in many years. So that's exciting. And it's interesting too, because this material is a little bit different than, you know, sort of what I've done previously, in that it leans more toward the, I don't know how quite to describe it, but it's a little bit less sort of bluesy and a little bit more Americana-y, but with some kick.
Interesting.
You know, there's still like slide guitar, but there's like also banjos, and maybe there's like going to be a little bit of, you know, steel guitar, and in different kind of styles of songs. And so I'm pretty excited about it. I feel like it's going to be a special album, you know.
Sounds
I will
exciting.
say that I've never heard you do anything half-ass. Everything has been foot to the floor. I'm serious. Top drawer.
Whole ass every time, both cheeks, man.
Yeah. Speaking of that, speaking of whole ass, when I saw you the last time that we played on the same bill, you and Eric C. Hughes and Nick Gaitan, man, I left there fucking. I was upset. I was kind of pissed off. You guys sounded like you guys sounded like you played together every fucking day. I'm going. That's not fucking fair.
I want to tell you about that gig, okay? Because I was so stressed, right? So we get there, and so thankfully, Eric was able to play with us because I had Nick Gaitan, who was filling in on bass that day, and then usually the regular drummer that I play with, Chris Ardoin, he was sick, man. He like had a gig at 6 a.m. that morning, played that gig, could like barely move, and he was like, he calls me, he's like, "Hey man, what time's load in this afternoon?" And I was like, "Dude, you all right?" And he's like, I was like, "Don't do it," you know. And so I was so just grateful, brother Eric. Thank you, man, for stepping in and saving the day. But I got there and I'm hearing y'all play, and I'm just like, I felt the same way. I was just like, shit, man, like I've never played with Eric before. I haven't played with Nick in probably 2 years. Like, oh my God, this is really, I was super stressed because I was just like, what are we going to play? We've never, the three of us have never played together in that format. Oh my God. And then, dude, I was so thrilled. And especially following you guys, y'all are like one of the tightest, like baddest, most energizing, exciting bands to see. And so I'm just like, crap. Okay,
man, that was so cool,
dude. It ended up being awesome. It was like so much fun, and we just played, and like it was a total blast. So
it just, to me, it was like a spontaneous Houston super group being formed. When you walked up with Nick, I was like, I already knew Eric was playing with. I was like, what? It makes me think of was it John Lennon and Keith Richards on bass, and was it Alan White on drums? Went and played in Toronto. Oh no, that was with Klaus Forman. I'm trying to. Oh yeah, Eric Clapton was on guitar.
Ew,
that guy. But anyway, yeah.
Cut marker. Fuck.
The story has no merit, Chad.
God damn it, Eric. Not you, Eric. The other Eric. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot about that. Anyway.
So, Eric, tell me about tell us about that show from your perspective. So Eric just finishes a fucking blistering set with us, and then you got to turn around, and then you and Nick Gaitan and the Mighty Orq.
It was fun.
Wow. Just simmer down.
No, the best part about it was I played with Nick a bunch in the past, and I've only seen, because of of schedules and whatnot, only seen Orq a couple times, and it was just like, for a second I was a little bit nervous, and then Orq just turned around and was like, "Okay, so we're gonna play this song. It's gonna go like this. It's a key of E, and I'm gonna do this thing, and y'all just come in when you come in." And every song was like that, and the way that at least I knew that the Mighty Orq was a little bit stressed out that day. We had a nice little exchange on the texting about, and he's like, "I have a probable situation today," and I was like, "Is it probable or is it a situation?" And he's like, "It's a situation." I go, "What do you got? What do you need?" And so I actually kind of listened to a couple of his records just to kind of get a vibe, and he was great. He would just turn around and say, "Okay, it goes like this, or this is the thing, or just watch me." And when you played as many shows as me and Nick have, you just watch and listen, and your ears get really, really big, and you react to what's going on around you. And the nice thing about that stuff is that it just kind of, once the groove is established, you just kind of ride that until it's time for the next song.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
It was awesome. And sonically it was so, and again, I had to bail early on that show only because I'm enthralled. I'm so into this set, and I just want to watch, but people want to come over and go, "Hey, do you know that, they got these fucking, these eureka moments to them that wouldn't even register on an ant's fucking life, or the lifetime, the lifespan of a gnat. It wouldn't fucking register on there, but they want to tell you about it. And I'm watching this thing unfold in front of me. This fucking, and Orq, I'm not saying it because you're here. I would say it behind your back. It's just everything is different. Everything is new and exciting, and everything is, and so how do you write, and how do you, two questions: A, how do you write, and B, how do you stop from writing the same fucking shit over and over again? Because all your stuff is it's worlds apart, and it's beautiful.
Thanks, man. Well, so like as far as writing goes, that's a really good question. I like to write, like, so I feel like I sort of write the best if doing one of two things. Like either A, I'm just telling a story, right? So I get as far as lyrics go, as far as like the music goes, a lot of times I'll just be messing around, and and it's like you sort of have certain ideas musically, like sort of certain chords will work well together, or maybe you're experimenting with whatever, just sort of different song structure ideas. And a lot of times I try to, if I find a song that I really like, I'll try to write sort of a song similar to that, musically, and explore explore what's going on in that tune and try to find out what I like about it. And then maybe apply it to, try to, just try to write something similar. And then lyrically, I always feel like I do better work when I'm writing about something, like rather than trying to talk about sort of personal things. It's like just describe like what's happening. Describe what's happening. So for like a lot of the songs on that are going to be on the new album, I actually wrote them, at least a couple of them, as it was like an assignment, basically like this. I wrote them for a podcast about people. So the podcast is called Legends of the Old West. And I wrote a couple of these songs with lyrics specifically about people or events, like one was about Jesse James. One was about the 1930s bank robber, Pretty Boy Floyd. And then I had like a deadline. And so I was like, okay, well, I have to like submit these songs by like, next Wednesday or whatever. So I have I've got gigs till, through Sunday. So I have like 2 days to write and record these songs. And so like, I feel like that's really for me, like having a deadline and like a direction sort of is a really interesting way to do it and really works for me. And then the idea was that it was supposed to be sort of old West-ish or, country-ish. So I'm like, well, I've got a banjo, and I've got some slide guitar and some steel guitar. And so then, it's much more about sort of the craft or crafting something rather than sort of sitting, and waiting for this artistic inspiration to, blossom in you from the universe. It's like you kind of got to meet that halfway, And then, so that's like with, normal songs with like words and stuff like that. And then I really feel like my strongest writing though is with instrumental music. And so I just sort of do that. That's much more of a, it's a sit down and work on it approach, but there's a lot more just sort of stopping and listening, and then sort of approaching it from that standpoint. So it's sort of a, and then it's, as far as making things not sound the same, I mean, there's definitely a conscious effort involved in like, okay, well, this did this here and this did, and this song does the same thing. Like we want to stay away from that, but just basically trying to, and then I gather a lot of inspiration from other songwriters and other artists and stuff too. So,
yeah.
The deadline thing makes so much sense when you think about it, because all of the stuff that we grew up listening to that's changed the world, all that shit was written under deadline for the most part, unless it was like a debut album with its, collected. But it's, everybody in the 60s, they were on really tight schedules. Like, got to get this stuff out. Got to write some songs. Come on, go.
We've got to write these songs like in the next 2 days, and then we're going to go record them on the third day, and then that's our album for this first half of the year. Right.
So there's no time to obsess over lyrics and, Well,
I tell you something. Mission accomplished. I mean, as far as running the gamut with your sound, because you don't do the same thing over and over again. Your shows are always top notch. You're singing. Mark Riddell as well agreed. Your singing is just damn near breathtaking. You're just like that. And
what's the album cover of the next album?
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah, it's but it really is. So let me ask you this. So what we do here every week is we kill a song. We take a song from and it can't be one of ours because we know how you know. We take a song and we erase it from history, and it's got to be done. And we're going to put you on the spot right now. The Mighty Orq, this day, what song dies? What song do you absolutely loathe that must never be heard again?
Okay, so I have two. One of them is highly controversial.
Good.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's like, man, we might not recover.
Let's hear it, man. Let's do it.
I don't know if I should say it because I have another one that is safe and absolutely needs to never be heard again.
Okay, good. I want to vote.
Can I do two?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well,
You're the Mighty Orq. You can do what the fuck you want.
So I'll do the safe one first, okay?
Okay.
And I can't think of the title of the song. Maybe is it called Rockstar by Smash Mouth?
Oh yeah.
Have we killed that one? Have we killed that one?
We've talked about it.
Have y'all killed that one?
Yeah, we were talking about it after a College Station gig. I think.
Yes.
Sorry. Go ahead, Eric. Orq, you have the floor.
So that would be my safe one. Should I do the hot take?
Hold on.
Yes.
Sweet Home Alabama.
That's fine.
How is that controversial?
I don't know, man. Like, I know some people are like, Skinnerd maniacs, but it's just like, dude, I'm done, man. I'm done. Like, dude, when Kid Rock does it, it's like it should be just taken away. It's like we're done here.
You started off with the most beautiful thing I've ever heard, killing Sweet Home Alabama, and then you said Kid Rock, and now my fucking.
Didn't he like sample that in one of his songs?
Yeah, and he mixed it with Warren Zevon, which was even a more horrible thing to do to Warren. Yeah,
there's a dude. He mixed in Werewolves of London in there too.
Yeah.
What a monster!
I know.
Oh, Kid Rock.
That's a high crime.
Shame.
Yeah.
That's a fucking the Geneva Convention. I mean that's a fucking my god.
That's a crime against humanity.
Yes, it is. That's a war crime. Yeah.
I'm genuinely upset about that.
Yeah, that was fucking torture. Yeah, great pick. Great picks. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, magnificent. And again, we expect nothing less. We go to the fucking mountaintop. When you go to the Mighty Orq, you go to the mighty mountaintop. That's what you're fucking doing. Now you know, kids. All right, Eric C. Hughes, what you got?
Only because I've actually heard this song, both versions of it, more than I needed to in the last week or so, and it's not going to be as controversial as the Mighty Orqs, but I will make it controversial because that's what I like to do. A song called "Wild Night" by Van Morrison, and John Cougar Melancholy covered it, and I've heard it way too much, and it's just so fucking boring. And we have this playlist that kind of run. It's a randomizer, but it also picks stuff that played before. For whatever reason, this goddamn Alexa bitch keeps playing a lot of Van Morrison, and I can't deal with it. I can't deal with it. The only Van Morrison song I like is the live version of Caravan that he performed with the band on Thanksgiving night, November 1976, on The Last Waltz. That is a piece of art. And everything else he does, I can leave it. I can leave it. I get it. So
there's only one album of his that I've heard in a lot, which is the one that has Domino on it. It was one of his really early records.
Yeah,
and that album's pretty freaking good. There's some good shit in there.
You can have it. Take it. I'll give you mine. I don't have one, but if I did, you could have it. But that live Caravan is great because he's so fucking out of his mind, and the way he carries himself on stage. You want to just Google Caravan with the band. Go watch it right now. Mm-hmm. Laugh your ass off, and the band fucking kills it. So anyway, Wild Night by John Cougar Melancholy or Van Morrison. Goodbye.
John Cooped Up Smell of Damp. Yes, love it. Chad, Richard Smalley, what you got? What you killing?
Shiny Happy People by REM.
Oh, nice.
I don't know what the hell they were thinking when they recorded that one. I got to think at least a couple of them were like,
they were thinking,
man,
we had a bank account.
What do I do? Why are we doing this to ourselves?
Yeah.
I know that Michael Stipe, whom I love all those guys. Michael Stipe is a huge fan of like old bubblegum, like 60s bubblegum pop. That was one of his favorite stuff. So that's what they were trying to do with that song. And I get it, but no.
Who's the gal that sang with him on that song?
I forget, from B-52s. I forget her name.
That's the best she's ever looked is in that video. After that, that's redeeming. But you can watch the video without the volume on, so you just watch her bop around. She's really cute, but yeah.
And I would say too, I'm not necessarily officially killing this one, but from the same album, Losing My Religion, for a while there, that was just as overplayed as Hotel California. It was getting way out of control.
What's stopping you from killing it?
Well, I guess I just did.
Yeah. The Mighty Orq is here. We can do whatever we want. Yeah. We have permission. Look at that.
And I say this, I'm trying to continue this tradition of actually going after songs of bands I actually like, because they are not fully innocent. Everybody's had transgressions. So,
well, I have to admit, I changed my killing direction thanks to that last comment. When I heard B-52s, I immediately go to Love Shack. I gotta kill that fucking song because that's what I hear and that's what I fucking hate. And I hear it so many times. Then I hear so many bands play and then weddings and stuff. So I was actually, I'm wiping away what I was going to kill today for another time. But today, thanks to y'all, that's just going to be the fucking, I hate it. I have to say too, I've hated everything I've heard by B-52s, everything. So that song, thank you for bringing that up.
The best thing about that song is the snare pop right before they go back into the last interminable chorus that just keeps going. But that snare drum sounds so fucking good. It's like, bah, Love Shack. Oh my god! It's just play that. Just give me that snare drum sound over and over and over again. Bah.
Love Shack, honey.
So the mightiest of all orcs. Today is Tuesday, and yes. So with today being Tuesday, we're going to where can we find you coming up past Tuesday? Where can we find you playing?
So let's see. I will be 2 days from today. I will be Thursday night. I'll be playing. We have a residency gig at the Big Easy here in Houston, and so we're there starting around 9:30, and it's a lot of fun. We call it Tequila Thursday, and so that's this coming Thursday, and then Friday, I'm playing with Chris Ardoin, and I are playing with our good friend Nick Diaz of the group Buenos Dias in Austin at a place called Central Machine Works at about 8:00. And then Saturday, this is some fun Mighty Orq trivia, perhaps, for the 5 or 10 people that may remember this. But so Saturday, we're playing in High, Texas at a place called the High Cider Company. And we have my dear friend who was the OG bass player in the band like 15 years ago, Jessica will playing bass with us. So that's really exciting. She's been in Austin now for probably, I guess about 15, 17 years now.
Cool.
And so she's playing bass with us at the High Cider Company in High, Texas, which is just about an hour, like northwest of Austin. And then Sunday, I'll be back in town doing a little solo show at McElroy's for a crawfish boil. So
nice.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. I love crawfish. Nice. I love Mac, man. So that's what we got going on this week.
Are you still doing the live stream? Is that a regular?
Yes. So I do. I'm trying to do like twice a month. So like I did one last week. So I do it, maybe every couple weeks. Sometimes I get lazy and maybe only do one a month. But so I did one last Wednesday. I'll probably do one not tomorrow, but the following week on the whatever day that is, the 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, I think, of April. Anyway, but so it's kind of like that. It's sort of, it's like, how lazy do I feel today? Do I really want to set everything up or do I not? But I try to do a couple times a month now because I was doing every week there during lockdown because it was my only gig.
Yeah. It gets scary. I don't even want to fucking talk about that time ever again because so many terrible things have still not even, they haven't shown themselves yet. We're still hearing and feeling the effects of this shit. I want to ask you one more question because I like I said, I know that you're easily one of the busiest people around. We're so thrilled that you came on here, just dying to have you on here, and thank you for coming. But I want to ask you another question. Give me one of your songs. Give me a song written by the Mighty Orq that you would want to hear somebody else cover. And anywhere in any time, who would you want to hear cover one of your songs, and what song?
Man, okay, so, gosh. Golly Moses.
Yeah, kids, get your pen and paper out because you're probably going to need it.
Yeah. Let's see. So there's a couple tunes that I can think of, and they're a little bit different, but there's similarities there. They're both dobro songs, but that I play with the band. So they're like, it's dobro, but it's like rock, I would say maybe, so I wrote this song many years ago called Sweet in Between, which is still on the set list. And who would be a cool artist to cover that? Man, trying to think. Because golly, there's so many. I got a bunch of songs that are sort of different genres, funky, rock and roll, bluesy. Sweet in Between, covered by.
I've got one.
Who would do it? Who would do a good job? Who would do the right job?
Yes.
These are.
Yeah.
I typed in a suggestion on the screen.
Yeah.
No, not that. I have a much better suggestion.
Okay. So, Eric. I mean, maybe, I could see Kid Rock doing it actually. As a terrible rap rock song. The only thing that would be good about that is that, man, I would make a ton of money. I was gonna say maybe Gary Clark Jr. Like he would slay that tune. But I don't know, the royalty check from Kid Rock covering it would be,
Yeah, but then you have to also remember part of your soul gets fucking killed too. So is it worth it?
Here's a better one. Tom Jones. Come on. I'm saying this, I know the song.
Dude.
He would kill it. He would fucking kill it.
Sweet in Between. Oh my God, Chad, that you're brilliant.
Yeah.
Yes, Tom Jones. Sweet in Between, Tom Jones. Final answer.
There you go.
Oh my God.
Wow. It's got to happen. We got to get him on the horn.
All right. Get,
that's my partner's other boyfriend. Is Tom Jones.
oh,
She loves him very much. I probably shouldn't be divulging this in public, but or no, she doesn't care. But yeah, she's a huge Tom. So she's going to see this and just be like, "Yes, how do we get a hold of Tom Jones?"
Oh yeah, I think it's totally made for him. Man. Yeah.
All right. I'll get him on the phone. Hey, Tom. Yeah, I got it. I'll just leave it with me. That's great.
Wait, hold on.
Really.
I'm getting a call here. Wait, hold on. Hello, Mr. Jones. You do? Well, that's fantastic. I've got to let you go. I'm right in the middle of something, but I'll call you back.
Yeah, tell that motherfucker we're busy. Yeah.
I was trying to be polite, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't need to be. You don't need to be. If he knew who you were. Anyway.
So yeah, I'm going to put some links in the description for the show, and I'm going to make sure people have a beeline to Sweet in Between so they can see what we're talking about. But yeah, man, what was the latest album that you put out?
So the last one I did, and I just did it digitally. I didn't actually do any hard copies because of expense mostly. Was this solo live album called "Solo with the Bugle Boy" that I recorded in February of 19, and is at this lovely listening room in LaGrange called the Bugle Boy, and it was actually pretty funny. So I'm sure you guys and most people who are musicians or music fans understand the concept of a listening room, where it is this very it's holy ground, right? It's very quiet, and all attention is focused on what is happening on stage. The artist, the songs. It's like I said, it's very quiet, very sort of reverent, right? And the Bugle Boy is very much like that, and so it's the only show that I've ever played there, and I wanted to really make it special. And so I was like, well, man, I can record a live record there. And so we got the live record, so we're going to do that. And then we were like, well, never played there. Maybe we could bust some people in to the show from Houston that wanted to go see and do make it sort of a fun event where, you hop on the bus and they take you to the show, and then you hop back on the bus and they bring you back home. Right. And so we did that, and we ended up selling out the show, which was awesome. And so I'm trying to, I got sponsorship from Eureka Heights Brewery very generously, and they provided some beers on the bus for folks. And then, of course, people brought their own juice as well. And so, dude, by the time the bus arrived, maybe 30 minutes before showtime, dude, everybody on that bus is tanked and rowdy as hell. And so the folks at the Bugle Boy were like, now they understand this is a listening room, and it's not like a rowdy bar. And I was like, oh yeah, these are adults. These are every person on there, I knew personally. There was maybe 40 or 50 folks on the bus, and I was like, dude, I know every one of these people personally. They have all been to a listening room. It's Mucky Duck, Anderson Fair, wherever it is. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I was like, they know the deal. It's not going to be, it's going to be totally fine, And then everybody stumbles off the bus. It's almost like they're falling off the bus, And it was an absolute riot, a controlled riot, but it was rowdy over there, and it was absolutely hilarious. So all that to say that that was the last album that I released digitally, called "Solo with the Bugle Boy." Available on Spotify and all other,
oh man, I gotta go listen to that
consumption platforms.
That is brilliant.
Recorded by my dear friend Andrew Carter, who is absolutely wonderful, and released on his label called Yop Records.
Cool,
fantastic. Yeah. We'll put a link to that too.
Now, just so, hey, we're here. Woo! I'm like, oh boy,
that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Great idea.
That was pretty cute.
So yeah, and no footage of that night, no video footage.
Just a little bit. Actually, so let's see. On my when I do videos and stuff for YouTube, I'll use part of where I'm walking on stage at that show as the intro. But that's about the only footage. There's like a little bit, but we didn't do like an extensive sort of video shoot of that show because there was already kind of a ton of stuff going on, and we got
to put a link to that in there just so people can maybe just go look and then get a taste and then go get the record, or go get the record and then get it. So whichever way it is. But yeah, chaps, gentlemen, guys, amigos, muchachos, compadres, this is wonderful. Orq, we are so thrilled to have you. You are not only a gentleman, you're a god among gentlemen, but you're such a big name in the whole music scene. Never mind just Houston, but we're thrilled to have you. And please come back. Let's do it again.
I would love to, man. Thank you all so much for having me. It's been an absolute honor and a pleasure.
All ours, brother.
Indeed.
Where are we?
We are south. We're at the pretty side of Dallas.
South side.
What a weekend! What a strong, fun weekend. Abandoned on Friday night. Packed to the gills. Parents' night it was.
Yeah.
And the parents didn't care for us, but the kids liked us.
Parents didn't care.
No, the parents loved us.
We love parents. Mothers.
Yeah.
Of invention.
Fun. Busy night at the O'Bannon's Tap House in Northgate in sunny old College Station, Texas.
Yep.
And then we drove to a little place called Corsicana. It's just outside of Dallas, right after the show. So we arrived there, 4:45?
Okay, I think so.
Got into bed for a minute, got right back out of bed. Had to be at Lake Grapevine at 10 a.m., 10:30. So we didn't sleep. None of us had any sleep, but our jokes are fucking hilarious.
They are hilarious. At least to ourselves.
Yeah, we're making a lot of sense right now. Yeah, fun day. So it was the Highland Games, second annual Highland Games in
Grapevine.
What, Meadowmere Park?
Meadowmere Park.
And a gorgeous day. As you can probably tell, maybe we look funny, but we've been in the sun all day. Kind of fried. But a lot of fun.
At least it wasn't windburned.
Windburn Street.
Marker.
I know somebody who lives on Windburn Street.
Yeah.
And Lori came up to sell.
Yep.
She did a wonderful job, as always.
Yep.
We had a bunch of coffee sold today. Thank you, Lori Valdez. And it was, man, what a gorgeous day. Great sound. And and we had Chris Buckley with us the whole weekend, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll hopefully we'll be able to announce 3 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll be able to announce some more Buckley dates soon. We were just chatting with him before he left about where we could squeeze him in again. You know what I'm saying?
He's so squeezable.
Yeah, and we've had people request before, and we've been meaning to do it. So look for an episode with young Baby Bucks. We have so many stories with him. So just to go back to the beginning of the weekend, the College Station show was a little bit nerve-wracking, very, very crowded, everything ready to go on time, and right as we hit the stage, what happens? The iPad freezes, we can't get into it, so we can't play. We're sitting there ready to go, and we can't get the sound on because the iPad that commands the Wi-Fi just froze.
Just to clarify, people who don't know what we're talking about, our new board has no interface. We can plug cables into it, but there's
ain't got no knobs, kids.
There's a switch that turns it off and on. There's a plug. There's inputs for the sound and Wi-Fi and all that stuff. But that's it. So if you can't get can't get connected to it with an iPad or a phone, whatever, you can do nothing.
You are screwed. You are screwed. And it's really it's for an old sound person. It's very frustrating because everything's ready to go. We were sound checked. We knew that it sounded good. Yeah. We knew that the room sounded good. And then to give us some kind of pat on the back, the sound guy that was running sound today in Grapevine had the same issue. Long story short, we got rolling. It was a little bit later than we wanted to, but we had a great night on Friday night. But in talking with Chris, we realized how many stories, how many incidences we've had with this guy that just go back, and he's telling us these stories. I'm going, fuck, we need to put this shit on tape.
Yeah.
It's quite revealing. So Eric and Chris get along famously.
We had a nice ride up last night, or this morning, or whatever. Yeah, we were talking about all kinds of crazy crap, and I can't remember what we were talking about. He apparently his oldest son, mentioned casually mentioned to his mother-in-law, not his son's mother-in-law, but to Chris's mother-in-law, that he likes the sound of bagpipes. And so what did the mother-in-law do? She bought him like 4 albums of bagpipe music.
Oh my God.
Not the good stuff, if there is such a thing. Just some like rando bagpipe records. I said, well, you know what? Since he's a drummer and he was playing like percussion in the School of Rock before he left, I go, I want to check out Top Percussion by Tito Puente. It's just a record of all just like the percussion section of a Latin band playing, and it's fucking brilliant. And so we talked about that, and he's like, how do I know that name? So then I had to give him the history of Tito Puente, and Tito wrote Oye Como Va, and Santana covered it, blah, 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 blah. So anyway.
Who did this made me think of that when you were talking about the percussion albums. The Hawaii Five-0 soundtrack?
Those are all the LA studio guys.
Yeah. There was a famous drummer on that, though, in particular. Was it Al Blaine? It's legendary in part because they took one section of it and used it in CBS for their special presentation for that spinning,
the percussion
that always used to happen before the Charlie Brown specials. Check one, bam.
Wow.
And that's from the Hawaii Five-0 soundtrack.
Well, I don't know. I know probably Emil Richards probably played percussion on that stuff. He's one of the most famous LA percussion players that's played on soundtracks, and he did the finger clicks on Addams Family and the bongos on Mission Impossible, original Mission Impossible. So he was probably involved in that.
Yeah,
I'm not quite sure who the drummer was, but I will do some research.
It's a very percussion heavy soundtrack. I remember that.
I don't know if it was. I don't think it was Hal Blaine, but it could be.
Yeah,
somebody,
totally could be wrong.
Somebody else. Somebody had to play it. They didn't have drum machines back then. Anyway, we had a nice visit, and he's a good roommate, and we didn't spoon as much as I wanted to, but it was late. We were tired.
That's all right. There's plenty more time. Come here. It's really fun to reminisce that stuff, but it's also there's so much history that it's kind of fun to see Eric's reaction to this stuff that you guys put up with that shit. You did, it's so many, it's just stories that were just flying, and of course, you have a little bit of whiskey and 2 cubes, you're gonna get all these stories, and his memory is pretty fucking sharp. Mm-hmm. So it's very, very cool. College Station is such a tinderbox. When you hit them right, they go. And that was a Friday night that we haven't seen in a while. Very, very, very enthusiastic young Aggies.
All wound up.
Yeah. So what's your take on this Highland Festival? What do you think? Year 2. I mean, after
good talk.
After year 1, the first one was cold and windy, and it didn't rain, but that was work.
Well, and also too, I mean, you think about where we were as a planet. I mean, we were just getting into. Some of us were just getting into second shots for COVID vaccination. So I know some people were still kind of, I think, a little bit wary about going out, even though it was outside. But I thought the crowd was bigger this year. It seemed like there was way more participants this year in the athletic part of it. There's 3 bands: River Driver, Cleghorn, and Blaggards, and great sound by Parker and the crew. And I like that stage location better too. I like it closer to the water, and it seemed a little bit more flatter there. And I could do without the drum riser, but the stage was a nice size for a 4-piece band. It seems to be a bigger stage than last year.
Yeah,
or just felt like one anyway.
The funny thing too is, coming from Houston, when we on our way to Corsicana on Friday after the show at O'Bannon's, we saw 38 degrees on the way up. It was cold. It was chilly. And then when we arrived at 4:45 at the hotel, and I was looking at my watch, I was like, well, what's the point? So I just lay there and I don't think I closed my eyes for a second. And it was time to get up. I was like, fuck it. So, but yeah, really, really, as I said it today at the festival, I think that all the focus is on the Highland Games. I think if they put a little bit more focus on the music, I think it could be I think it could be a very, very big event. Doug Berry and his wife Susan, they worked their ass off this year on it.
Yeah,
and I really think that there's going to be. I think there's a need for it. I think there's a. I mean, you can tell by the amount of participants. People are into that stuff. People want to participate. They want
to throw rocks and trees around.
Yeah, I mean, and it's fun to watch. A lot of that stuff is fun to watch. These we've seen the one. I don't want to mention any Houston Highland Games by name, Houston Highland Games, but we went before that, and it was kind of like an old folks' home. It's just slow, and it was, this one was a little bit peppy, and the athletes were performers.
Oh,
I mean, people were putting on a show, which you want. Like, if you're in a band, don't fucking stand there. Make it look like you're having fun. If it's a good band.
That one guy that walked by at the end with the cowboy hat and gave you the fist bump.
Yeah.
People were taking pictures with that guy. Like, I think he's like Highland Games famous or something like that, because people were stopping him to shake his hand and take a picture with him. So he must be somebody. It's a whole other world that I have no clue what goes on.
Yeah.
He must have been like a star athlete of or something like that.
Yeah, but they take it seriously, and the thing I was impressed with was they were all out there doing their thing, not their me. They're out there to promote their sport, and I think that's why it's going to be a big deal. I think that's but like I said, just focus a little bit more on the music, and they need a few more food trucks
and a few more vendors, I think, too.
Yeah.
Just like regular vendor stuff.
Yes.
Like the one in Oklahoma, there's like all kinds of crazy vendors over there.
Yeah.
So.
But anyway, so we just wanted to put a little bookend on this Orq week, and just there it is.
There you have it.
SlapperCast in a van.
Orq is the other white meat.
Ooh.
Title?
Fucking racist. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
There you go. Cheers.
See you next time.